Here we are at Silverstone. I think the Masters Endurance car's coming past. Charles Aston Martin there. It's very loud, isn't it? It's very loud, isn't it?
Working his way through traffic as well.
On Saturday 23rd of August we were lucky enough to attend the Silverstone Festival, where we saw some fantastic racing, fantastic cars and also had a lot of fun. Here's a little video put together to show you some of the things that we saw and did. Both pit lanes are open during the day, so you can have a little explore and look at some of the cars when they're not racing. Some areas are out of bounds for under 16s, however we still managed to look around lots of places and also got some really great photos with my sons Greg and Alex.
Beautifully done, give Gregory a round of applause. Well
There were
done.
lots of fun free things for children to do, including this science show. Some of the rides were also free, although some of them needed you to pay for the tickets. We even met a celebrity. There were lots of cars on display all around the site. For instance, this is the United Autosports LMP2 winner from Le Mans. These Alpine and Williams cars were actually display cars, so not real racing ones. However, they still look pretty cool. A lot of these Mercedes, though, were real cars used in their respective seasons, including this one, used by Schumacher and Rosberg, this one from Hamilton, Bottas, and this one from Kimi Antonelli and George Russell. This car was part of the Mercedes Pit Stop Challenge, which we didn't actually have a go. However, they were kind enough to let both my sons, Alex and Greg, sit inside. Lots of car clubs were there, and I saw some pretty unique cars, including all these GT40s. I also saw this tiny little Austin Healey. Not all of the grandstands were open, and generally speaking we just sat in the one we were closest to when the races started. I think if we were to attend again, we'd definitely rethink some of our seating choices, as we were close to the cars here, but as we were on a straight we didn't really see much wheel-to-wheel action. There was a shop selling a lot of model kits, and I managed to pick up this really rare Opel Calibra DTM kit, which I was happy with. As well as exploring on foot, there is also a free bus shuttle service to help you get around. Later on, after the endurance series, this team, MechTech Motorsport, let us have a look around their LMP3 car and even answered some questions for our sons. It was really nice of them. The Transatlantic Touring Car race had probably the biggest grid of the day and lots of action.
The run from Cops Corner round to the start line because Beckett's they come again, leading the car in. Sam once again kicks up the dust through that front right wheel. Perfect line through there, drifts the car through in an over 600. Mr. Red cars from Red, very red. Family preparation organisation a couple of seasons ago, so the Brabham Mustang, they talked about last season because that's how the original car was.
There were a couple of offs in this race, resulting in appearance of the much more modern Porsche safety car.
And this is their latest.
Yeah, it doesn't actually
They just serve to keep the exhaust off the ground, so you don't need less tail happy than that. Driving colour ran out pretty much the moment I shut the driver's door. Unless they're still there. If they don't have 900 horsepower, that's the difference, you see. Tight left-hander, trying to hang on in front, and there, top shot, and it's now.
We got to have a closer look at some of these cars later on around the pit garages. A feature we were really looking forward to was the World Champions Formula 1 display, with cars representing almost all of the 34 World Champions Formula 1 has had. For some reason, Mike Hawthorne's Ferrari wasn't there anymore. There was no car for Kimi Raikkonen, and someone from Mercedes had already come over and covered up the cars belonging to Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg. However, it was fantastic seeing the likes of this BRM driven by Graham Hill and this Lotus driven by Jim Clark, the likes of cars that you are very unlikely to see on a day-to-day basis. I've actually built a model of this one and a couple of the other cars in the collection as well, so it was great seeing them up close and personal. There was also a motorbike driven by John Surtees as the only driver to be world champion of motorcycles as well. Some of the cars were on loan from either the contemporary teams or classic teams, such as Classic Team Lotus, Williams, McLaren, Mercedes and Red Bull. However, some of the other ones had been loaned by private collectors. There was a notable lack of Ferraris, especially amongst the contemporary cars. A lot of the cars on loan from Williams and McLaren were particularly spectacular, as they were the actual chassis that had been driven by the champions in their championship-winning years, such as this Alain Prost car, next to this one from Nelson Piquet, the MP44 McLaren from Ayrton Senna, his first championship-winning car, and the Williams FW14B, Nigel Mansell's only championship-winning car. I grew up a massive Damon Hill fan, so this is the first time I've ever seen his FW18, the winning car from 1996. Made sure to get a selfie with that one.
Tell you some things that are good about you.
Hamilton actually had two cars here, his 2008 McLaren and a later Mercedes. Unfortunately, as we got here late in the day, someone from Mercedes had already covered up the Rosberg and Hamilton cars. However, I did manage to see some of their cars earlier in the day. And then finish off with the most contemporary champion, Max Verstappen, and looking down at all the other cars as well.
Well, we're allowed in there, but you're not. Oh yeah, that's a shame. Okay, see ya.
It was a fantastic opportunity to look around the main Silverstone pit lane. However, as a race was about to start and we weren't allowed to bring our children in here, I didn't want to spend too long and didn't want to get in anyone's way.
The yellow ones were my favourite. The old one.
It's the rolling start. Rolling start. In the last race, this was the Group C Masters, which was only 8 cars on the grid. Hello. You say hello. Hello. Yeah.
Alex was happy we found these tractors at the end of the day, including these ones, which are actually Porsche diesels. Actually got a model kit of one of these, not made yet. There's an Aston Martin and also a David Brown, which is the name that DB came from after he bought out Aston Martin as well. And this is a Lamborghini. Pretty unusual. We finished the day off with a free ride around the Ferris wheel, had a fantastic view of all of the circuit. Actually would have been good to see some racing from up there. Just want to say a massive thank you to Stu, better known as Model Nerd, here on YouTube. He was marshalling at the track and he helped get these tickets, so massive thank you to him. If you don't follow his YouTube channel, make sure you give it a look and subscribe as well.
Going all the way around, guys. Look, going all the way up again. Oh. What?